definitely the cute little fox. He has a little tuft of hair that like flops around and it's cute. Hi, welcome to the podcast. I'm Joycelyn, your player one, and today in the house we've got Tunic by TUNIC Team. It is a single-player action adventure puzzle game. It's kind of a platformer. It's almost 2D. It's like a 3D platformer. I don't know if those exist. But a short premise of the game is explore a land filled with lost legends, ancient powers, and ferocious monsters in Tunic, an isometric action game about a small fox on a big adventure. And there's no contact warnings that I could find for this game. It costs $29.99 on Steam for Windows and Mac. I played for about 30 minutes, a little bit more, but it's not super hard. The only thing is, you don't really get directions. You just kind of get plopped into the game. So that's interesting. Gameplay-wise, super easy. WSD to move, shift to focus on enemies. There's different keybuttons to use different objects, but I think it's J, K, and L, just to like use the three objects in your like hotbar kind of thing. You use space to interact or to dodge enemies. And the arrow keys, you use them to look around. I'm not actually sure when you need to use the arrow keys because I didn't get that far, but yeah, you use arrow keys to look around. I assume it's when you're like in. There's like spyglass things around. I assume it's then, but I'm not sure, honestly. The visuals. This game is so pretty. It's very pretty. I love the little fox. The little fox is super cute. Even the enemies are cute, actually, which I was kind of afraid that they would be like a little bit scary, but they're very cute. Most of them are like little blobs. Most of the ones I saw, they're little blobs, and then there's like little flying ones that shoot at you, and then there's like big guys that like have a sword. But I haven't seen any other enemies in the game, so I don't know what the other ones look like. But the ones that I saw were pretty cute. I loved all of the details and the colors. The different colors were nice, and the different little details. You know, like for example, there's like grass and like bushes and stuff, and you can walk through them. And when you do, they move. So I thought that was cool. The music is nice. It's soothing. It's on like a little loop. It's nothing super duper special, but it's nice. I think I would have gotten more upset and more frustrated quicker if the music had been like more upbeat and like action like. The music in this game is pretty calm, which I liked. And story-wise, from what I can tell, this game has like a pretty extensive story. The only thing is, it's a puzzle game, so like you don't know this. It's not a story game. You have to like find the clues throughout the game for the story. Because the whole game you're trying to find all of the pages to the instruction manual for the game, which is really interesting. It's a very interesting concept, but for someone who needs to know how to do things, it's kind of stressful because like I don't know, it would have just helped to have maybe started with one of the pages of the book to give like a basic overview of the game and like how the mechanics work and stuff like that. But it is what it is. Because like the way that the game is right now, you just kind of learn by trial and error. So I was pretty scared that I was gonna like die early on in the game, and luckily I got pretty much to the end of my 30 minutes and I hadn't died at all. I died like 3 times in the last like 2 or 3 minutes, um, just because I kind of got to a roadblock area and I wasn't really sure where to go from there. But like it really wasn't that bad. It was just like I kind of wish I had the instructions from the beginning. Um, but I understand that that's the point of the game, really. It was fun though to find the different parts, and honestly, I didn't even really read the instructions. Like by the time I had found the instruction pages for like things that I needed to know how to do, I already knew how to do them because I had like just pressed buttons to try and figure out what they did at the beginning. So honestly, I wasn't even really reading the instructions. And this game has its own like language. So like some of the buttons are in a like in the game's like made up language, and you can't even really understand what they're asking. Because like if you like interact with something and I mean, I assume it's asking if you want to pick up something or something like that, but like it's in a different language, so I don't know what it says. It's like in the game's made up language, so I have no idea what it said, and the buttons are just like okay and no, and it's like okay, what does this mean? Um, but I guess that also is kind of maybe tied in with the story. I don't know if maybe you eventually all of the options get translated to whatever language you're playing the game in, or if it just stays like that the entire game. If it stays like that the entire game, that's kind of annoying. But like if as you progress in the game, it like changes to the language you're playing in. I think that's pretty cool. Like you're learning more about the game as you play the game. So stuff that you couldn't really read before, you'll be able to read in the future. I'm not sure, because even in the instruction manual, some of it is just not in whatever language you're playing the game in. So it's like, what's the point of me having this piece of paper that I can't even actually read? But I'm sure maybe someone has translated the language like online or something. I'm not sure. But like story wise, I'm pretty interested in the story. I just think my like hand-eye coordination and games like this are difficult for me, so I would probably just watch someone else play the game to get like the lore and the story part. But yeah, that's just me. If you like games like this where it's like kind of platformy, like puzzle games, then you would definitely really like this game. Um, my favorite part is definitely the cute little graphics, definitely the cute little fox. It has a little tuft of hair that like flops around and it's cute. Um, and my least favorite part is probably just not knowing like what exactly to do from the beginning, because you literally just spawn in and that's it. Like there's nothing. But yeah, uh, so would I recommend this game? Like I said, yeah, if you have the patience to learn how to play the game and like go through and learn everything about the game and stuff, yeah. But like if you're not super interested in puzzle games and you're not super interested in the story of this specific game, then you probably won't like it that much. If you are interested in the story, I'm sure there's videos on YouTube of people like playing through it, but it'll probably be video series because I looked up the game like time, like playthrough time of this game before I played it because I was curious, and it was like 26 hours or something. So this was a pretty extensive game, pretty intense, a lot of lore probably. That's very interesting, but like if you don't have the patience to actually play the game, then it's probably not for you. You might want to just watch someone else play the game or something like that if you're really interested in the story. But yeah, so I would rate this game a 7.5 tokens out of 10. Great job, Team Tunic. And I have an announcement actually. Next week's episode won't be posted on Patreon. It'll come out on the 25th, like for everyone on all of the services, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere. It'll come out on the 25th. So look out for the special episode next week. Next week's episode is the Q&A, where I answer all of your questions. If you have questions, I've probably already recorded it by now, so you probably can't leave them. But if you do want to leave them in the comments, and I might see them and I might still answer them, so you can try. No guarantees. I don't know when I'm filming that yet. But yeah, and also maybe look out for something special next week. There might be something special that's posted next week also, as well as the regular episode on the 25th. But yeah, so thank you guys for joining me on this episode of Indie House. Be sure to rate the episode and let me know your thoughts. I've got a Discord server called Indie House Official, which would be a great place to give your feedback and talk to me, my collaborators, or other listeners of the show. If you have any indie game suggestions, feel free to comment below or hit me up at indiehouse_pod on Twitter or Instagram using the hashtag IndieHouseGaming. This game, Tunic, was actually recommended to me by one of the collaborators that's been on, Aiden. He recommended this game, and I was like, all right, I'll play it. And also, if you'd like to support the podcast, get some cool extra content, you can find the Patreon in the card. Catch us next week on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. See y'all on the next level. Bye!